What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to Down the Wire. I'm your host, Brian Kostiw, and today I'm coming to you with a great athlete interview. With football season inching closer every day, I wanted to jump back into the college football world and introduce you guys to a phenomenal talent. He is a defensive end who last year led his team in both sacks and tackles for loss. Now, as he and his team enter a new conference, the Bluebloods College Football Podcast has tapped him as a member of their All-Big South team heading into the 2022 season. On today's episode, we'll talk about that move to the Big South, as well as how he aims to make the most of his senior season. So without any further ado, hailing from Stamford, Connecticut, please welcome Bryant University's very own Kenny Dyson Jr. Kenny, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me on the show. This is my first podcast, man. So thanks for making it a memorable one. Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely, man. I'm glad to have you on the show. Obviously, I mentioned it in the introduction to the show, listed as a preseason favorite for, being all Big South by some, by some notable college football guys. You guys are getting ready to jump into that next year, and kind of jumping in with things right now. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about those odds right now?
I feel, pretty confident. Last year we came up pretty short in the NEC. Obviously we didn't live up to the expectations that we had as a team. We fell short of the conference title, but we're getting a lot of guys back, especially a lot of guys healthy. So, I just feel confident with the guys that we have in the locker room, that they've been working hard this whole summer. They've been working hard this whole spring ball. They've been working hard, in the weight room, so I'm confident in everybody on the team. And we have a lot of starters coming back too. So I'm excited to see what we can do in the preseason and then obviously this fall.
Absolutely. I mean, I spoke with one of your tight ends, at the end of last season, Jihad Edmond, and he spoke with me about the jumping competition. He said that, you guys are not worried about that one bit. Do you share that same sentiment?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not worried. I just think that we need to come in every day, with one mindset, and that is to compete every day. Is to compete with each other, whether it's on the field practice, whether it's in the weight room, or just little things, here and there that we can get that make us better every day, that make us 1% better every day. Because week after week, it's going to get harder. We start off, with some good opponents, but as we get into conference play, every team's just going to get better and better, and we're going to have to, match them.
Yeah, absolutely. So for yourself, kind of take me back. Obviously, you're playing Division I football now, but you had to start somewhere. You're from the New England area. How did you kind of get into football at a young age? What really got you into playing this game?
So I became a Giants fan, I want to say in 2006. Around that time. That was when, Eli was in his good years. But I became a Giants fan, and then I asked my mom and my dad, how can I play football? So I think it was around fourth grade where I started playing a Pee Wee league. And I just, like to hit people. I had trouble putting on the equipment first. I'm not gonna lie. There's like this so we have a girdle, right? That obviously we strap on, and back then they have like the individual pads that you just slide in the girdle. So the butt pad, I actually slid down in a different place, and I was uncomfortable for about a week or so. But after a while, I got used to it, and I just like running around and hitting people. Obviously, I got like the basics down when I was a younger age, and obviously carried it on to middle school and high school, and I'm just blessed to be able to continue to play at one of the highest levels.
Yeah, absolutely. So you talked about your parents getting you into it, and you going to them to ask about football at that young age. Were there any individuals during your early years that really made an impact on you with your development and getting to this level you're at today?
Honestly, I probably my dad. He was trying to get me into some kind of sport, whether it was football or basketball or even baseball. I ended up switching over to lacrosse, and he didn't really have any involvement in that. But football and basketball, he was definitely trying to get me, into a sport. And even my older siblings, they all were into sports. I have a half brother. He played. Where did he play? He played college basketball at McDaniel, which is D3 in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
My sister went to the same high school I went to, and she was a volleyball and softball standout. So at some point I had to narrow it down, so I played football and lacrosse all 4 years, and then for I played basketball for 2 years. But for me, it was between football and lacrosse, and I was good at lacrosse, but I kind of wanted to not give up football for that because I feel like football is a different, type of world than lacrosse is, at the highest level,
Yeah.
professionally, obviously. So, I thought football would be the better route, and I actually enjoyed football a little bit more than lacrosse. So I ended up, focusing on lacrosse, or I ended up focusing on football, going to camps, talking to coaches, and getting a good amount of recognition. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, something I did notice about you when I was looking at your profile on the Bryant website was about your background in lacrosse and basketball. I saw that being listed. I think of one of the greatest hockey players of all time, Wayne Gretzky. He said that once one season was over, he went to another sport and immediately started playing something else. Like once hockey season was over, he immediately went and started playing baseball and did something like that.
Right.
For someone like yourself, how much of an impact do you think it has helped your football game by, having these other elements and these other sports, to keep you agile and to keep you, fit and, throughout these other times of the year?
I would definitely shout out lacrosse for that because I was one of like a few of those years in high school. I was in like the best shape I could have been in my high school career.
Yeah.
I played midfield. I did face-offs and played offense and defense. So it was a little bit of everything with regards to lacrosse and with basketball, obviously running up and down the court, knowing the plays and stuff that we ran and stuff. So obviously running around the court like that kept me in shape too. And I must say I was way lighter then. Like I put on a good amount of weight coming into college. I was at 205, I think 204, 205 around there. Now I'm sitting at 240. I'm still moving the same because we're year-round training, year-round practice, year-round running, lifting, all that stuff. So, but yeah, I would definitely want to shout out lacrosse and basketball for keeping my speed up. I think my speed is definitely the best part about my game, or one of the best parts about my game, and that's just those sports definitely helped out.
No, 100%. Your speed is a really big factor in your game. I was watching one of your highlights. It was one of the sacks you had against Brown, and the fact that you were able to. It was, I think, towards the beginning of the game, and you absolutely just rushed after the quarterback, and it was freakish how quickly you're able to get to him. With him scrambling out of the pocket like that, and you were kind of just standing middle of the field. So that is something that is really good coming from your position. Obviously, this kind of happens for different athletes at certain ages. There's kind of a reckoning moment where they realize, hey, I might have a shot to play Division I, college football, and I might have a shot to play Division I anything. For you, was that at an early age, or did you kind of come across that a little bit later in life when you were like, oh shoot, I might be able to really go on and play somewhere?
It was around my sophomore, and the end of my sophomore year was when I started getting attention.
Yeah.
I remember the first couple schools that came out to me were UConn and Stonehill.
Wow.
Stonehill is now D1 since they moved over to the NEC and took, I guess, our spot technically. But
Yeah.
those two schools reached out to me first, and I started drawing interest from Army West Point. By the way, I will say phenomenal facilities that they have and phenomenal campus that they have. I was definitely thinking about going to West Point. And then, obviously a few other schools wanted me to come to a camp, work out. But you know how that goes. They tell everybody to come to a camp, show face and, give them a few dollars or whatever. But
yeah, they want their numbers.
Right. So, obviously a few schools were reaching out to me throughout my high school career. But Bryant ended up being one of the schools that fit me the most. So,
yeah. So what about Bryant? Like, obviously it's this small school in Smithfield, Rhode Island. Obviously it's a Division I program, but what really drew you to the school? I mean, you had offers from, like West Point and these other schools, which are tremendous programs. What about Bryant stuck out to you?
So I kind of didn't want to be too far away from home, but I didn't want to play at the Division I level. That was the most important thing to me at the time. And Bryant was, sort of the same fit I had in high school. With my high school, I was private school. We had my average class size was like 12 to like 16, 17.
Wow.
And that's kind of the same at Bryant. Maybe you find a little bit bigger, maybe
Yeah.
20 or 30, close to 30. Obviously, we're like, 3,000 undergrad or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was about the fit, kind of just like trying to transition smoothly into, how I could, perform in the classroom. I think that was my main focus. One of my main focuses, obviously, coming here and playing Division I football and, developing my body and, learning more techniques, getting better on the field, getting stronger, blah, blah, blah. All that good stuff is going to come either way. But I think it was most about the fit for me in the school and then obviously in the classroom. And, everything's gone well. I coming out of high school, I think that um, I was more, I was, satisfied with I don't know how to put it. I'm really stumbling right now. I don't really know how to put it.
Oh, you're
I just
fine.
it was really settled. I was really satisfied with the classroom situation and how I could reach out to my teachers and stuff like that. So all that good stuff is
Yeah,
will help me
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Obviously, you guys come into college, once you come into college, like it's not typically what you see a lot of college freshmen doing where, you show up at like the end of August, you have like your little orientation thing, and then, you start your first day of classes. For these freshmen, you're typically here, a little bit earlier in the season, kind of like you had mentioned to me before the show started, like you're going back, 1st of August to start up camps. For
Mhm.
you, once you got to Bryant, like what was that whole adjustment period like?
Obviously not knowing a lot of people.
Yeah.
I actually didn't go to one of the orientation sessions that Bryant has. So like they have like multiple,
Yeah.
but obviously you can pick and choose which date you can go to. So I didn't go to the orientation. I also didn't go to a spring game,
Okay.
which is like technically like another like day where like all the signees can come up and just like see the campus, see the players, blah blah blah. So I really didn't know anyone but a few coaches,
Yeah.
and that was kind of tough. But I want to shout out one of our alumni. His name is Rich. He was my roommate in camp or during camp freshman year, and he definitely helped me settle in, and he got me used to everybody in the D line room. So I want to thank him for kind of getting me situated. But coming in, yeah, I was definitely smaller than where I am now, and I was afraid of like 300 pounders at the time because I came in, I thought I was playing inside linebacker. Then they handed me my playbook folder and it said DL. So I was like, what? I was confused. But
You thought you got
yeah,
the wrong notebook or something.
yeah, I thought they made a mistake, but no, my D line coach said, no, you with the Juice Boys. That's what he called us back then. But yeah, it was definitely something I had to adjust, quickly and adapt quickly, and I'm just happy where I'm at.
Yeah. Is that probably one of the most, challenging things that you had to do throughout your football career, having to,
Pro-
go on a new position like that?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So in high school, I played inside linebacker and tight end. And then obviously coming up here, it's just one position. And obviously I switched from inside linebacker to D line, but I guess I could see the switch because, I had a little bit of speed. I had good bend. So if I could just, put one and one together and over time, I could get better and obviously get stronger, faster, weigh a little bit more. All the things would come together and they're coming together. So,
Yeah. I
but
mean,
still definitely one of the hardest things I've done. Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, that's not an easy task to, kind of switch positions, once you're in college like that. But, uh, obviously, trying to think, coming into college and having to deal with all that, there's a lot of different, things that can go on. For you, what was your big like welcome to college moment? Like,
Ooh.
when you realize like, oh, this is a lot different. Like this isn't high school ball anymore. When did you realize, oh, this is something else?
Yeah, so it was about I want to say the third or fourth week of camp my freshman year. We were doing like this inside run period with the offensive line. So I think we had it split up into like pods. So we had one side of the O line and D line here, one side of the O line D line here, just split up so everybody could get multiple reps.
Yeah.
Um, and it was like they were running like some pull plays, like power or counter or something. And who's no longer my teammate anymore, Micah and Draco came around the corner and lit me up. I had no idea. My eyes were supposed to be down the line watching for any, comeback, and he, pulled over, came back, and I remember just, trying to absorb contact, but I just fell to the ground and I was out the rest of practice. I ended up with a concussion.
Wow.
So that was definitely my welcome to the Division 1 level, for sure. But I definitely have my head on a swivel for the past few years after that moment. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So obviously, having to adjust to that, a level of physicality is something you got to watch out for.
Yeah.
What is the biggest, change in, positive change in your game that you think you've made that's helped your success throughout this time?
I definitely think watching film and using my hands. Those two things definitely, as a D lineman, you need to do, because watching film is so important to understand the tendencies of the offense and the offensive line, especially. We can study like their footwork, we can study their hands, we can study how they pass it, stuff like that. So we can practice it all week. And then going into the game on game day, we're ready to rock. We have a few moves that we're gonna do. And then obviously at the inside linebacker we're using hands, but at the D line I think it's a little bit more critical to use our hands every single play, because we can't stay blocked. You know what I mean? We can't stay attached to a 300-pounder every single play. We got to get off the block. We got to make a tackle. You know what I'm saying? We got to, get to the quarterback. So I definitely think watching film, studying the opponent was one of the things, and getting my hands better was another thing that I'll, point out.
Yeah. So obviously you talked about and Draco lighting you up during your first time. And that was probably a very that was a very pivotal moment for you. But obviously, he's probably been someone who's hopefully been able to help you out, who was able to help you out during your time there. But I've asked this to some other guys too. If there's like one guy on this football team that, is just like your guy that you can turn to and talk to about like anything and, get advice on, who would that person be for you?
Easily my roommate, Jack Daly. He's a stud. He came in freshman year more ready than I was. Obviously he's an interior D lineman, so he weighs a little bit more than me, and he was ready to go quicker than I was. But he's a playmaker. He's a leader, and a lot of guys look up to him. So, but yeah, he's my roommate. So we talk about everything. We hang out every day. And anytime I have a question, anytime I'm trying to get advice, I go to him, because him and we bounce ideas off of each other, and then we go from there. You know what I mean? So if I have to shout out anyone, definitely my roommate, Jack Daly, and he does the same thing to me. So we're like one on one.
Yeah. Obviously, that's something that, when you see a guy coming into school and, you can make the assertion that they're, more, physically prepared for a position. Does that ever kind of, get in your mind of just saying, can I ever like get to this level? Is that something that creeps into your mind when, you're starting off like that?
Yeah. I remember just trying to understand how I was going to put on, 20 pounds by the end of by the end of my freshman year. And I did it. I mean, it was just a lot of 4 meals a day, 5 meals
Yeah.
a day. You know what I mean? Making sure I eat something light before I go to bed, and obviously before I practice. Make sure I have a good breakfast, and a lot of fluids every day. So little
Yeah.
stuff like that, definitely. It's over time too. A lot of stuff happens over time, because you're not gonna just put on 10, 15, 20 pounds in a week. That's unhealthy. So
Yeah.
it definitely took me about half my freshman year to get to like 220. And then I started hitting 230 like sophomore year. And now I'm like a steady 240. I'm trying to hit 245 before we go back. I think I'm at like a 239, maybe 240 right now.
Okay.
Um, and we're gonna lose a lot of weight, because we'll be sweating every day, in the morning during doing practice every day. So, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. As you do head in, as you do head in the season, it's, you can't really avoid the incredible season you had last year. Obviously, it's in the past now, but you have to acknowledge, just what you're able to do. I mentioned it during the show. You led your team in sacks, in tackles for loss as well. What really clicked for you last year to put together the season that you had?
Um, I think it was just having the confidence in myself.
Yeah.
Just knowing that I have ability to make plays. I have ability to be an impact player, X factor, whatever you want to call it. I have the ability to be one of the guys on the team that, the team can lean on to, come up with a big play or a big turnover, a big stop. Just having that confidence that you can just go out there every single play. And, not every play is going to be good. Not every play is going to be, obviously bad, but, just having the confidence to be out there because everything's moving quick. So once you get the pace down, you can move with everything and then you can start to, make plays. And that's when you got to think on the fly too. You got to think, technique, you got to think moves, you got to think, on the fly. So just having the confidence and, the belief in my ability to be one of the guys on the team that can make a play.
Yeah. I mean, after a season like that, you obviously got to have some great memories from your time as a Bulldog, maybe both on the field and off the field. For you, what would be your favorite Bulldog memory?
My favorite memory. I'll probably say my interception against Central Connecticut because the chance of me doing that was just so little. And we were actually running a stunt pass rush. And I remember I wasn't really in a good position to, get the quarterback, but he was deep in the pocket. So I kind of got to a couple yards away and I saw him kind of gear up like this, getting ready to throw. So I just put my hands up and then it just took a lucky, ricochet off my chest and I was able to, slide down and get it. And then obviously coming to the sideline, everybody's, jumping on my back, saying what's up, stuff like that. So it was definitely a surreal moment and a, incredible play, but that was probably my favorite moment.
Yeah. I mean,
so
I was trying to find that play. I swear to God, I was going through, I was looking up the stats. I saw it was against Central Connecticut and I was trying to, go on, the NEC Front Row website and find it, but I couldn't. It was actually on ESPN Plus.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Wait. Sorry. Real quick. I don't mean to cut you off, but I was trying to find that play too, but they end the streams after a month or 30 days. So it was on ESPN. So they end the stream after 30 days. So you have to go right after the game, a week after, and go record it and stuff. I tried to put that on my highlight reel and I couldn't. So
yeah,
I found out the hard way too.
Yeah, it's the same thing. So I was trying to find that to have his little introduction to you for the show, but I couldn't find it. And I was like, you got to be joking.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did. There is going to be a sack though on the audio version. You'll hear the audio of your sack against Brown. So
okay,
I did get you with that. So obviously, as you do come into next season, you're being highlighted as a, a big guy to, really help this team out next year. I mentioned it at the top of the show. What are some goals that you have for yourself coming into next year?
Well, first thing, being a rising senior, I definitely want to have a good voice on the team, be a vocal leader. I think that's my main goal because I want to, set the standard not just for the D-line room, but also for the defense and then the whole team. Because, last year we came up short. Like I said earlier, last year we came up short. We definitely had the potential to not only win the NEC, but appear in the FCS playoffs for the first time as a program. So we got to do everything we can to put ourselves in that spot again with this new conference, especially too. Obviously, the competition is going to be a little bit better, but I'm excited to see what we can do. And then obviously on the field, I, just want to stay consistent. I think being consistent is the most important thing, and giving 110% every single play is the most important thing for me as a defensive lineman. And I know that's what my coach, Coach Goodwin, the D-line coach, expects from me. So, just right from the jump, right from day one, right when we put on that helmet, just coming in and being consistent, being a vocal leader, and everything else will fall in place.
Yeah. With being a leader, it's going to have to, really, one of the things you're going to have to do is speak to some of these new guys coming in, these freshmen. Last year I had a chance to talk to a kid. His name's Jamison Jarvis. He's the linebacker, actually just committed to Bryant for this upcoming season. I spoke with him and, was picking his brain on, what he's got to have to expect coming into this year. If you could go back and talk to a freshman version of yourself and, give them some advice coming into college, what would something like that be?
Oh, that's a good question. I would probably say don't get overwhelmed. This is what you signed up for. This is what you worked so hard for. This is everything you wanted. So it's right here. Come in and take it day by day. Not everything is gonna go your way, especially from the jump. You're
Yeah.
gonna be tired. You're gonna be sore. It's gonna be those long days when we're in the meeting rooms and a coach is gonna see you, slouching and sleeping and stuff. You just got to take it day by day. Be attentive and everything. Focus when it's time to focus. When there's time to joke around, but when we get to the business things, we got to lock in a little bit and focus up on what the coaches are trying to preach to us every day. And let's just keep it simple. Don't make it so hard on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. And just have fun, because at the end of the day, this is what we all wanted, to play Division I football.
Absolutely. Obviously, playing Division I football is a dream for yourself and, so many others that are getting that opportunity. However, there is, a grind that comes to that with being a student athlete. What was the, what has that, grind been like for you at the college level? Obviously, a bunch of kids do it in high school, but it's a completely another animal, at this level. So what's that like for you?
Yeah. It's definitely more intense weight trading, I would say, because everything is superset. Everything is, all the reps and sets are different than what you would normally do at the gym.
Yeah.
Obviously you have those heavy lifters that do a lot of reps, but it's different. It's still different from college sports. And then I'm sorry, what was the other part of the question?
Just kind of, I was just talking about just the adjustment period as a college athlete in general, just what's it like for you?
Yeah, no. So yeah, obviously the weight's different, but as far as running goes, you definitely want to you know, get your sprints in and get your, a couple mile distance running in, because I think that the endurance piece is really important, especially when the fatigue starts to kick in. And how much do you have left in the tank? How much do you have left to give on this play or on this drive? How deep can you deep? You know what I mean? So um, it's on you though. It's on you. It's all on every single person on the team. It's all individual. It's how much work you put in. It's how well you're gonna prepare yourself. For when we get going. So it's definitely difficult, but it's definitely achievable.
Yeah. I mean, something I've always talked about on the show is, a lot of the difficulties and things like that come with being a college athlete. Are there any perks that you'd probably really like to shout out? Obviously, playing the sport is a big thing. Obviously you got that. You're getting to live that dream out. But even some stuff off the field. Are there some perks that you've enjoyed during your time?
I guess just gear and being recognized as obviously in the Smithfield and Providence area. Oh, like you go to Bryant, you play football, blah blah blah. You get the good conversations with random people. But I mean, other than that, not really. I'd say gear. Obviously, with NIL coming in, you would think that we would have a chance to get ourselves in the market, but it's kind of hard because Bryant's not that big of a program, and if we started to get better each and every year like we did last year, and maybe we put ourselves in the conference championship, and we'll get a little bit more recognition that way. But I think that there's some good advantages to playing the sport, but obviously everybody thinks you get treated differently. It's not really like that. So
yeah, and this isn't like a University of Alabama where football players are
right.
They're the gods of the campus, and it's like a completely different world. I mean, I've been down south before and I've met some of these college football fans, and it's another breed for these guys. It's unreal.
I totally get that. Yeah, everything's different down there too. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are going into that Big South Conference, so you guys are going to be, facing, that kind of intensity. Obviously, you're not going into the SEC, but you're still facing, some pretty good competition next year. We talked about, you guys facing that, but just the intensity from those fans down there and, just that kind of atmosphere. Is that something that you're excited for?
Oh yeah, for sure. One game that's really got me excited is the night game at North Carolina A&T under the lights, and that's gonna be something, because I believe the word on the street going around is that that's their homecoming and that their stadium holds like 20,000 or 30,000. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But at the end of the day, we have a job to do. Everybody on every single play has a job to do. So it's about, kind of blocking out the noise and kind of just focusing on, the task at hand.
Yeah. As hopefully at North Carolina A&T, maybe J.R. Smith shows up.
Oh, right.
Yeah. He's doing he's doing college golf down there.
Golf, right?
He can come off the 18th hole and come watch you guys play.
Come watch us, right, on that nice Saturday night at homecoming. Yeah. Why not?
I was about to say, I was like North Carolina A&T. That stuck in my mind for a second.
I totally forgot about that.
I was like, that's why. But yeah, no. So obviously, that's something that's going to be really fun for you to do. Obviously, you got a lot of stuff coming up down the plate. But we talked about Bryant being somewhat of a smaller school, and guys not necessarily getting that recognition. Well, that may be true in maybe like the popularity of like athletes or something on the campus. It hasn't necessarily stopped some guys from getting recognition in other leagues. Obviously, running back for you guys, Dan Adebaboye, recently just got drafted to the CFL to the Toronto Argonauts. Even a couple years back, Tom Kennedy got drafted to the Detroit Lions. So Bryant athletes have been able to, go on and, make a mark for themselves at the next level, or at least get recognized by people on the next level. So, how do you feel about your odds, after college? Like, are you going to try to play, elsewhere? Is that desire there for you?
So yeah, a couple things. Shout out to Dan doing his thing in Toronto. He's definitely putting the work for that. And, obviously he's in his hometown in Toronto. So good for him. And then TK, going on his fourth year in the league now. So
I think so. Yeah.
I think so. So yeah,
threw a touchdown pass, which was awesome.
Yeah, right. I saw that. That was crazy. But no, yeah, he's doing his thing, and hopefully he gets more PT this year. I know they got some guys now, but he's a hard worker, so I believe in him. But there's a saying that if you're good enough, they'll find you. And I will say, humbly speaking, we've had a few scouts come to campus, and they worked out a few of us. So it was me, Jack Daly, Nazea Harriet, Ryan Sadler, and Joe Andreessen. We had it was two scouts from the Commanders and 49ers that came, and just height and weight, wingspan, and then we ran a 40, little stuff like that, just to put us in some sort of system.
What's it like getting notified that those guys are coming to watch you?
I was definitely surprised, and obviously I'm very blessed and very thankful for them, for seeing, that there's potential there. But the way so our head coach, Coach Merritt, the way he put it out to us, he was like, come to my office Tuesday. This was like a Tuesday. He's like, come to my office around 5:00. And I was like, am I in trouble? Is there something going on? Is just something happened on the team? And Jack, my roommate, he already knew, and he was like, oh yeah, I can't tell you. I was like, what do you mean you can't tell me? Is it good or bad? He's like, yeah, I just can't tell you, bro. But we found out, it was obviously a good feeling, and then, it was cool to, work out in front of them and put ourselves in that kind of system to, be scouted or ranked or however the scouts do it. But yeah, man. And then another thing I wanted to point out, and the other thing I wanted to point out was the COVID year. So I have a COVID year left that I could, potentially do a fifth year, pursue an MBA, but I could also, play football. So I have no idea what I want to do yet. I think I'm leaning towards doing the fifth year, but it's still not final. The decision is not final yet. But it's definitely something I do want to explore. And if I could play somewhere else, then maybe that's another option we seek too. So I don't know. This whole kind of transfer portal thing is kind of crazy. And we're just gonna take it one day at a time. We're gonna focus on this year. We're gonna focus on the season. So we can address that stuff when the time comes. But right now, let's just focus on. I'm gonna try to focus on being a leader and coming in day one ready to go.
Yeah, obviously, you spoke about COVID. As we're heading into the season, it looks like we're probably going to have, hopefully the most normal college football season that we've had, since COVID ever began. What was it like for yourself? You were here through it all. You were here before COVID started. You had that whole season, and you basically were here through it all. What was it like having to deal with, all the adjustments that were made for that, and now coming out of it?
Well, freshman year was cool. Obviously we went through the whole season normally, and had fun. And then come winter break, we get back, and then I think like February or March hit, and then we go off for spring break, and then they tell us, 2 more weeks of spring break, and they tell us to stay home for the rest of the semester. So that was definitely
Yeah.
a little weird because the whole country was going into lockdown, and there's not much you could really do because everything was getting shut down. Even like the local gyms were being closed and stuff. So it was kind of hard to be locked in the house majority of the time. But going into sophomore year, with the whole like mask mandate around the campus, and we had to wear a mask pretty much everywhere except when we were practicing. And even then, when we put on the helmets, we had this like plastic cover at the bottom of our helmet, which was actually really suffocating. It was actually really hard to breathe while we had that on, but it was tough. And then we had our spring season. I'm not sure if you knew that we had our spring season of 4 games. And it was kind of weird because it was like, why are we playing 4 games? What's the point? I mean, who's going to get crowned? Something. And we actually had Duquesne actually won the conference, and they actually had an FCS playoffs, but it was a little weird. And I didn't really like that year. Obviously it was weird with the whole COVID thing, and traveling was weird. We had the mask up on the bus, mask up in the locker room. There was a lot of stuff to deal with, and obviously getting COVID tested every or twice every week. So a whole bunch of stuff going on. And then this year we're starting to get back to normal. We saw a few places where we had to mask up, and some people choose to, some people choose not to, and that's totally their choice. But it was tough. I'm just glad we're kind of getting closer to the near end, even though there's a few cases here and there with random people, and hopefully we can all stay healthy and everyone can stay safe, and we can just have a normal season. But I'm excited for this year. I think it's going to be similar to my freshman year and how everything went.
Yeah, I think that's hopefully going to be in a good spot. For yourself, how did you stay motivated during all that? Obviously, you had to you're talking about, being suffocated. You're playing basically in this like very sterile kind of environment where, it probably just didn't even feel like real like football at some points. For yourself, how did you really, stay locked in and, keep pushing?
Just having no other route, there's no other route. There's no other way that I was just gonna keep coasting through this. I had a purpose each and every day that we came, whether it was a workout or a practice. I'm sure everybody else did, but I was just motivated to keep getting better, keep getting stronger, keep getting faster every day. Whether rain or shine, practice, no practice, mask up or no mask, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just coming in every day, just ready to go. And whether I was a sophomore, junior, or freshman, just if I could set an example for someone else, then that's a good job by me. So obviously, just staying motivated, having a purpose, and just still having had that love for the game that I've always had.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I got one more question for you before we do take off. I know you got something that you got to probably take off for. So we've talked about football, and we talked about life and a lot of things going on there. Obviously, football can't last forever, and this is a question that I've asked many people that have been on this show before. And for yourself, when it does end and you do eventually have to hang up the cleats, maybe it's in a couple of years, maybe it's in a couple decades, who knows when you finally decide to make that call. But when you do decide to say, all right, I'm done with football, I had a great run, but this is it for me, what do you want to do next?
So I'm a marketing major, and
Okay.
I definitely want to pursue either digital marketing or social media marketing. I think that's something that I could really excel in. And then I also was interested in grabbing my real estate license. So
Okay.
I know there's a little bit of a short process for that, but at some point, either this semester, I think it would be better next semester. Probably next semester, I might start thinking about getting my real estate license and trying to see what that world's like. And I know, a few people that are in it right now. So I can definitely lean on some other people for some, advice, help, guidance, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I definitely want to start with digital marketing for sure.
Kenny, thank you for coming on today. It's been a real pleasure to have you on the show. Before we take off, though, I do want to just say, if you guys are not following Down to the Wire at this point, what are you guys doing? We're available on Spotify, Apple, all the platforms you can stream podcasts, as well as on YouTube. And you can find all of the links to that in our Instagram bio at down.tothewire on Instagram. Again, follow us at down.tothewire on Instagram for all information regarding the podcast and future uploads and updates. And without any further ado, from Down the Wire, I'm Brian Kostiw.
Kenny Dyson.
And we hope you guys have a great day. Take care and peace out.